It seems we have ourselves a few improvements to work with today, which means we can build bigger and better things. Because I didn't realize before, if you tell something to freeze, it'll stay there, right where it is. At least until you tell it to unfreeze, and then it can leave its perch. Now it's just a matter of trying to decide what it is we want to build. While we're thinking about that, I've got an idea. What we need is one of these fine generators. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing to be concerned about unless you're this guy, because we're gonna turn this on, and then I just kind of want to see what happens if I connect a conducting wire from this overpowered generator to this man's face. Not for any reason in particular, just because you gotta see what happens sometimes. Oh, I thought he would explode or something. Apparently he doesn't have any power. So while he's being supercharged by this generator, then we're going to go ahead and activate this one while also rotating it sunny side down. That way he really feels the impact. Are we ready to see the results of that? Fun! Both generators had a part in that. And his head is still bouncing around. So it looks like the generator could give him power, but it wasn't enough to kill him by itself. We needed to add some other stuff to the mix. I'm kind of wondering if we can attach some rockets to a seat like this and make a man float all the way to the top. I think we probably can. It's just going to be a little bit of a matter of how do we do it. First of all, we've got to try and get him into the seat. That's pretty close. Then we just anchor him in because seatbelts are very important. He's already covering his eyes. He knows what's happening. And then we're going to use the steel beam as a platform because we're probably going to need a few rockets. Again, always making sure everything is strapped down. Safety is paramount in all of my experiments. I just realized there already is a thruster bed, which apparently sends things into the sky by themselves. We'll test that one next. I like my homemade version better. The rest might be a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. As long as it makes it to the top, it's a victory. 6 rockets should be enough to propel our brave hero straight to the top. And I did also notice a gyroscope stabilizer, a device that when activated stays upright. I'm hoping that if I attach that to his platform, it'll help that thing stay upright. This of course is all theoretical at this point, but that's why it's so exciting. Pretty sure this is basically how NASA does it. And also because I'm very confident in my aim, I'm going to leave a spike straight above him. That way when he reaches the ceiling, he's also going to be impaled. Again, of course, because safety is paramount, we're going to give him a heartbeat monitor. And I can't remember if it's a wire or a blood wire, so we're going to give him both. Well, I feel pretty confident that we're ready to go. We'll make sure that we're locked onto him. And go. Oh, Cam is having trouble keeping up.
Then he exploded and we had to change our plans.
Alright, so it's as simple as that. And actually, that's what I've been trying to build this entire time. It even goes straight. So once again, we need to go through the painful process of getting someone to sit in a chair. Come on, don't be scared. Embrace the chair. Too much. You, my friend, would be wise to cooperate and just get in the damn chair. If I lock the chair in place, I can bring him to the chair. That leads to at least 90% less decapitations. And since he got away last time, we're gonna have to bolt him down extra good this time. We're gonna give him a 4-point harness. Now it's simply just a matter of reattaching him to one of these things and adding a few goodies. Like probably a supercharger, because you can never go wrong with these things. And we'll give him a pumpkin just to help ease the anxiety. But I'm not going to strap that down, so what he thinks is a bit of relief is going to go flying off into the abyss. Now we just need a few people down below who probably aren't going to love this journey, but they're not really getting much of a choice in the matter. Once again, we have set things to follow. Let's zoom out a little bit so hopefully the camera can keep up, and that didn't really work. Why didn't it activate? I mean, the result was still pretty good, but I wanted some, lift at the very least. Is it activated now? Please tell me. There we go. Too fast. I thought it would at least balance itself, but it doesn't really seem to want to do that. Did anybody see where the pumpkin went? I think I can see the potential in some of the lasers. But not just the regular lasers, because they don't have much of an effect. I'm talking more so the supercharged lasers that have more of an effect on the human body. Just gotta wait for the kettle to boil. There it is. And there we go. Much better. Think of how much fun we could have with these. It pops people like popcorn. They could probably just drop a whole army of them into there and just watch it go all day. The laser turrets look like they also have some potential. I might have just electrocuted it, but you see the point. Also, don't ask me how we got here, but there's something I've been curious about for a while, is if we fire a tank shell, can we attach a man to it? Tank shell, meet man. I think if we do his head, it's just going to tear his head right off. So let's go center mass. Feel like I should probably zoom out for this, and away he goes. Is that him? Oh yeah, that's parts of him. How high do you think we can make his heart rate? I bet we can get it up quite a ways. Currently at 63 beats per minute, which I think is the average. I don't really know if they have any fear-induced responses. It might just be strictly physical responses like pain and removal of body parts. Putting a torch on his head has no effect whatsoever. But if we say remove an arm, it drops pretty quickly because he dies. Next, I'm going to stab him with the ultra strength syringe to make sure he's extra tough. So as soon as we get that lined up, there we go. Extra tough man. Then we're going to give it a whirl with the adrenaline syringe. That should get his heart rate up pretty nicely. There we go, 150 beats per minute. But what about if we supercharge the adrenaline syringe? Will he get extra adrenaline or will he just explode from electricity? And I think we pretty much just electrocuted him. Did anyone see the heart rate before he turned into a skeleton though? Do you think we can make him float with balloons? I bet we can. It didn't even take that many balloons. He's going to the moon. Not very quickly, but he's getting there. I bet a giant wooden spike's gonna be bad for balloons and the man. Off we go. You know what? Those balloons are tougher than I thought. Just kidding. I think a fitting and cruel experiment right now would be to find out how many balloons it takes to crush a man. So I basically need to build a long, tall tube right here so we can fill it with balloons. And we're going to start with this. I don't know if this is going to be more than enough balloons or not even close to enough, but we're going to start it in slow motion and kind of see how this goes. I'm hoping it doesn't just drop like a rocket because it's going to be really hard to build this stuff back up again. Anyways, go. Oh, it is pushing them upwards, mostly because the balloons are expanding. It might take them a second to kind of all find their place amongst everything, but then they should all start pushing up together. He's already fallen down. He's not a very strong candidate for a human, so he's not going to love this experiment. Okay, I've turned slow motion off and everything has just settled. I'm not sure if the force is going outwards too much and we're losing it against the beams, or if we can still get more upwards. But at least from here, expanding the balloons is going to be pretty easy because I just take a chunk like that, copy them, and then paste them down below, much to the game's dismay. Yeah, there he is. He is actually wiggling upwards. His head is just about touched the top. There we go. So yeah, we'll just keep adding balloons until something pops. And it's not going to be a balloon. 3 more stacks of balloons it is. The game is starting to lag. We're down to 6 FPS, but you know what? That's okay. He's still okay, at least for now. It would be curious to see how much force he's actually under. I don't know if there's any way to measure force in this game currently. Yeah, the game isn't loving it, but he still seems pretty well fine. I guess our only option is more balloons. So I'm kind of hoping we can just kind of take basically everything we have so far, with the exception of everything that's not a balloon, and copy paste that. I can already tell the game is gonna love this. Was that too low? No, that's actually okay so far. Pasted 1,301 objects. So we have about 2,500 balloons on the ground. So let's unpause it, let those balloons kind of add up to here, at which point they're going to transfer the force all the way upwards. Things look like they're starting to tighten up, so at that point we're going to pause it and zoom in on him because I don't want to miss it if he gets crushed. I mean, I feel like he's under a little bit of compression. Something here looks like he is, but I'm not really sure why. And please don't crash on me. That looks like it worked. I assume that was another 2,500, so there's 5,000 balloons in total currently. The game's not going to love this, but we're going to force it through it. And I think some of the balloons maybe got outside the confines of the metal thing, but that's okay. We're dealing with so many balloons, a few stragglers are bound to happen. Even when the game is paused now, we're getting 4 frames per second. So I think I maybe rebuild this by just a single platform width. That way all of the balloons will be pushing up directly on one little platform and he won't have anywhere to go. Here is my new and improved design. I've even strapped him straight to the middle so he can't go anywhere. Everything slopes slightly down so all the balloons should be focused singularly through this man. Slow motion is on, plus we have 2 big ass hydraulics down below pushing upwards. I'm not sure if it's going to transfer through the balloons enough to crush him or not. That's the curious part. Slow motion is disabled, he's starting to tip. I think if he starts to fold, that's going to be a good sign. But for right now, his entire body is actually enough to hold up against this all somehow. I can hear some sound though. I'm not really sure what that's about, but something is happening down below. It seemed for a second like he was wilting. Some of the balloons are still moving, but I don't think they're transferring the force enough. It's strange because you'd think all of these balloons would be transferring some force upwards, but it's not. Every once in a while things move upwards just a little bit, but I'm not really sure what's happening. The game is going too slow to really understand. Are balloons flammable? We're about to find out if they are. I want to recreate this whole thing just a little bit narrower because I think we can get the force more focused on him. Okay, the balloons might not be flammable, but he sure was for a second. And that might have actually jarred things loose because he's floating back upwards again, albeit at 2 frames per second, so it's a little bit slow. Doesn't look like he's going to get crushed, because once again he got pushed into a corner where he has a little bit of safe space. So we'll put the poor guy out of his misery by tossing a sticky grenade in there. Now it's just a matter of being able to actually activate it. Come on, you can do it. Oh, it might get away from us. Would that still explode him from there? I'm not really sure. We're about to find out though. Don't worry, my friend. Your suffering is over. Or maybe this won't go off at all because it's just too slow right now. Oh wait, I think that was it. But let's try this all again. I used brick this time because it's easier to keep in a perfectly straight line. Now we just simply attach his feet to this, and then no matter what happens, all the balloons are pushing singularly to this metal piece and therefore distributing their force upwards through this man. It's in slow motion, so don't expect anything to happen fast, but that's kind of the point. It needs to happen very slowly right now. Currently there is enough balloons to hold him up, but I'm kind of worried they're not pushing him up. I still worry that I'm losing too much force outwards. So let's add a few more balloons and see if that makes any difference at all. Okay, this appears to be a problem. Got all these balloons, he's not moving upwards at all because we're losing the force somewhere else. Luckily, I do think I have a solution. Instead of pushing him up, we start pulling him up. Not really sure if this is gonna work, but I really hope it does. Ready and go. Not enough balloons, and they escaped out the top because I'm stupid. But it looks like this is going to work, it's just a matter of getting enough balloons out there. We got kind of a balloon enclosure going. Hopefully this works and they don't all manage to escape. I'm just going to fill this up and it should pull it up and crush him. I am spending way too much time trying to crush a single man, but I'm super determined to kill him with balloons. Every time I paste, it's 102 balloons. Some got away, that's fine. So I don't know, that should be about 1,000 balloons pulling him upwards. Slow motion is on, we're down to 27 FPS while still paused. We've got it unpaused, it's very slow to do that. We're going to turn slow motion off. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. He's not crushed, but he's not really having a good time. Technically, I think that is going to kill him. It's not necessarily going to crush him, but it's still pretty fun. And I think some of my balloons probably escaped. That might be a problem. But we're going to delete those and we're just going to keep copy pasting this thing because it seems to be somewhat structural. Which looks something like that. I'm glad how far out we have to zoom to really see and appreciate what we've done here. And that's not enough to do it, so let's triple the size again. Did I say triple? I meant like multiple of 10. I'm not even sure what's going on with the game right now. It's not enjoying this, but we're gonna have enough balloons to kill that man. That individual paste took a long time. Good news though, because this is actually big enough that it's exceeding the size we have to work with. So I'm gonna very slowly and carefully get it as close to the, well, we need to have a little bit of room for him to actually crush though, don't we? So let's maybe put it here and then try and attach it like that. Not really sure how much the game is gonna like this either, but it's pretty unhappy as it is. As for how many balloons this is now, I really don't know because it's a big creation. Back to our hero, unpaused. It's very slow to unpause. Yep, that's definitely a lot more force because he's actually flattening out now. We can hear stuff straining. I don't know if it's his body straining or not. I don't think it is. Oh, hold on. Hold on. It's working. I can hear him crushing. We actually did it. I was worried that wasn't going to work for a second. Uh-oh, don't go that way. Uh-oh. I think we broke something. I don't know what these cables over here have been the whole time, but well, you know what? I think we've succeeded anyway. That took a long time to do, but we killed a man with balloons, and I'm proud of that.